morning on Tuesday, the 25th of February 2025. It's 8 a.m. in the Gambia and therefore coffee time on West Coast Radio with me, Peter Gomez. On YouTube, our program is sponsored by Jah Oil.
In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Jah Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Jah Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Jah Oil also targets to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.
It's 21 minutes past 8 o'clock. My guest, Imam Mokhtar Babali, has been around since before we started the program. He's a respecter of time, unlike many of us Gambians. I was expecting to actually start today with the Tourism Diversification and Resilience in the Gambia project. But the people who meant to come to the program have not been seen. So we'll move forward and talk about social media, because people use social media platforms to chat, to share information, to express their opinions, and to connect with others. But these platforms also facilitate the posting of divisive, harmful, and hateful messages targeting groups and individuals based on nothing else other than their race, their religion, their gender, their tribe, or their political views. Unfortunately, in this country, conversations related to politics, more often than not, give rise to toxic or hate speech. 3 days ago, voters in the Kiangs went to the polls to elect a new councillor for the Masembe ward. It must be said that never in the history of this country has a political campaign as fierce as the UDP and NPP showed in Masembe just for an area council seat been seen. And on the ground, there seemed to have been no incidents before, during, and after the vote on Saturday. In fact, the NPP leader reportedly took to social media to congratulate the UDP and its leadership moments after the final results were declared for winning. But someone aligned to President Barrow didn't, as was first brought to my attention on Monday's program, when unusually my guest was Dr. Ismaila Cisse, the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. A listener sent in this question: what are the police doing about that Babukar Bahum who is ranting and insulting the people of Kiang by calling a whole community ungrateful? Is that not incitement to violence?
Well, incitement to violence, I wouldn't know. That is the job of the police to know exactly where the red line is, and they'll take appropriate action. One thing I can guarantee you, that the police are doing a fantastic job, and they are monitoring and they are watching every move of every Gambian who might be crossing the red line.
But Babukar is a known supporter of the government.
With this government, it doesn't matter whether you're a supporter or not. If you break the law, the police will take appropriate action against you. It doesn't matter. There are many supporters in this government. You cannot stop what people are saying. What is important is that you don't cross the red line. Which, if the police really see that in this particular instance, I'm not here to speak for Babukar. He doesn't represent the government in any way, and the government cannot speak for him. He's a private citizen Yes, he supports a particular political party. That's one thing. But as a government, if anybody, no matter who you are, if you cross the red line in your utterances that the police deem to be incitement, the police will take appropriate action. There is no question about that.
And apparently, shortly after that firm promise of action, the police did actually act. Babukar Bahum was invited for questioning. But according to our resident government critic, Alagie Barrow, the police action is all a show.
I saw many people calling on the police to do something about Babukar Bahum, who, like the Sirinjais and others around Barrow, was a die-hard supporter of Yahya Jammeh until he found a different seat in the APRC NPP. Babukar Bahum thrives on crudity as his chosen vocation. He offers nothing useful, and if you have not heard, Babukar Bahum was so upset with his APRC NPP's defeat at the hands of the UDP in Kiang that he decided to go berserk by sending invectives at the people of Kiang. It is not Babukar's first time heaping invectives on people or their parents, and it won't be the last time. As he himself said right after being bailed, nothing will stop him from supporting Adama Barrow and the APRC NPP, and his way of doing that is through insults. Before the arrest of Babukar Bahum, a friend called and asked me to add my voice to those demanding that the police take action because, in my friend's argument, we are all equal before the law. In response, I told him, 1, I don't care what the IGP tells you. We are not all equal before the law. And 2, given that we are not all equal before the law, our police should not be the ones to determine what constitutes offensive language, because they will mostly only go after those opposed to the government or the critics. It escaped my friend that if we were all equal before the law, there would not have been any need for citizens to ask the police to do their job by arresting the Bahum character, given how quickly they went after Ismaila Cisse years ago, Momodu Sabali, Madi Jobate, my nephew Bora Sisao, Ibrahim Adiba of the UDP, or Mr. Louis Butanos. Babukar Bahum has been insulting elders for years, and nothing ever came out of it. If he was a critic or in opposition to Barrow, he would have been arrested years ago. The police only invited this Bahum character after so much public outcry. Their hands were forced. If they do not take any action, it would lend credence to the accusation that they are a biased police force. But let's talk about our police policing insults. What constitutes an insult? What is the definition of the word insult? Here is the issue. Whatever definition you come up with, you would have a tough time trying to police insults because in this colonial space, there is a high degree of subjectivity on what constitutes an insult. But if insults are words that are hurtful, offensive, or rude, then from the president on down, if you are engaged in speaking publicly, we have all said things that others considered offensive or hurtful. So where is the red line? Are we going to leave it to the police to determine what political leaders say about others is fine, but any response to that is worthy of an arrest? Are we going to leave it to the police to arrest Ibrahim Adiba for his response to Adama Barrow, but ignore what Babukar Bahum said about the parents of others or about Mama Kande? The societal challenges we are dealing with today result from abandoning our ways and trying to adopt the ways of others. And nowhere is this clearer than in the way we conduct our politics. You see, in the West, a child can tell their father, "Dad, stop lying." In the Gambia, I used to know, you dare not look at your father and tell him he's lying. And it is still the case that many of us respect our elders, except when it comes to politics. In our politics, you can attack and heap insults on people old enough to be your father or mother. You can attack a whole region, and you can disrespect political opponents by lying against them or dismembering their honor. Our politics is not built on values. Lying is acceptable. Being doubled or quadruple-tongued is allowed. Inconsistency, misinformation, and duplicity are tolerated and welcomed. Should we be shocked when some APRC NPP supporter feels so mighty that he can attack a whole community? Let's see what comes out of this so-called arrest. I suspect it is all for show. And when the lights go out, this Bahum character will go straight back to what he does best: insult everyone who disagrees with his choices. And the APRC NPP government would be out there giving him a wink and a nod, because he is doing it on their behalf.
In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Jah Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Jah Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Jah Oil also targets to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.